it's Victoria. Welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be reviewing the new IT Cosmetics It Girl Volume 3 Eye, Cheek, and Brow Palette. So this is what the palette looks like. It's so pretty. It says It Girl right on the front with like this whole design. On the inside of the palette you have a mirror, 6 eyeshadow shades, a blush, a brow powder, a highlighter, and a bronzer. So really like your all-in-one kind of palette. I got my palette at Ulta, but I will also leave a link for the palette from Ulta or IT Cosmetics from somewhere down below in the description box. But anyway, let's get started reviewing this palette. So I have my foundation concealer on. I did fill my brows in a little bit, but I am going to use this brow powder. This is, I'll show you guys really quick, just more close up of the palette. So this is the brow powder right here. It does look a little light, like I don't know if it would actually work for everybody. It says it's universal taupe if you have darker hair or maybe even lighter hair. I don't know if it would work, but I'm going to just use a little bit of it just for the sake of the video. So it definitely matches my hair color, so I could get away with using it, but maybe if you have a similar hair color to me, it would work. And then I am just using a spoolie and brushing and blending this in. So the brow powder is pretty nice. I tend to not use brow powders. I usually go for a pencil, but a brow powder can sometimes give you a softer look and might be easier to blend in and things like that. So there are definitely benefits to using a brow powder. Since there are these face colors in here with the bronzer and blush, I did not set my foundation yet. So just to set underneath my eyes, I am using my Mercier translucent powder. I am using my beauty blender, and I'm just going to set right underneath my eyes. While I let that set underneath my eyes, I like to apply my bronzer. So all of these shades, really except for the brow powder and this really light matte white shade, they all have a shimmer to them. So even the bronzer does have a shimmer, but as I do a swatch, it's actually not that much of a noticeable shimmer. It actually looks pretty matte. It kind of just has a few like glitter pieces in it, kind of. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm going to just grab my big contour brush and I'm going to go into the shade. It's called Beach, and I'm just going to apply this where I would normally apply my bronzer. This is definitely pigmented, so I'm going to really have to blend this out. I'm going back in with my translucent powder, and I'm just going to clean up the contour underneath by baking right below my contour line. That was a really bad swipe of translucent powder. There we go, it's a little better. Then I am just going to use this flat powder brush and kind of just dust all of that translucent powder off. I'm just tapping all of that in with my beauty blender, with the wider end of my beauty blender, to make sure that everything looks really nice and blended. For the blush, I'm really excited for this because this just looks like such a pretty blush shade. But this is called Sweet Cheeks, and it is another shimmery color like I said before. So I'm using a blush brush for this, just placing that right above my bronzer and kind of just bringing it up a little bit to the tip of my nose as well as my forehead to add some more color to my face. And again, going back in with my beauty blender and tapping this out. So before I add my highlighter, I usually just like to do my eyeshadow so that when I'm applying my eyeshadow, my highlighter doesn't get messed up. So I'm obviously going to be using these 6 shades today, which are so pretty. I'll try and see if this will focus so you guys can kind of see a little bit of a closer up of the eyeshadow colors. They're all really neutral, easy to wear. I'm going to add a little bit of my NYX concealer just so that we get really good pigmentation. So I'm applying that on my lids, and then I'm going to blend that out with my beauty blender. I'm going to add the shade Delight, which is a matte white color, and I'm just placing this across the whole lid, just setting the concealer a little bit. And for the crease color, I'm going to add the shade Inspire, really light nude color, and I'm going to place that And just to deepen the shades before I add these shimmery colors, I want to add the shade Beach, which I know does have a little bit of a shimmer in it, but I don't think it'll be too noticeable. And I just really want to add more dimension to the eye. Over top of that bronzer shade in the crease, I'm going to add the shade Magic, which is kind of like a grayish color. I don't really know how else to describe it, but I'm going to place that right over top and really deepen this look up. I'm not really going to drag that across the whole crease. I'm just focusing it on the outer corner. It's in the palette are pigmented. They're just like really soft colors, as you can tell. So like all of them are really just very wearable, soft shades that like you can't really mess up with them. So it's really, I kind of do like that about the palette. Using a smaller eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go into the same shade called Magic again, same shade we just used, and I'm just applying this to the lower lash line. And I am going to place a little bit of the shade Gleam. I'm just placing that right at that outer corner to build up more dimension before we go onto the lid. Now I am going to go back in with my concealer, and I just want to place a little bit of this, not really to have a dramatic cut crease effect. I just want to make sure that there's some concealer for the brighter shimmery eyeshadow to stick to before I apply it. I'm going to add this gorgeous shade called Glowing and apply that using a flat eyeshadow brush. You can see that's super pigmented, and I'm just going to tap that right over that concealer. My inner corners and brow bone, I'm going to use the shade called Radiance, which this is the highlighting shade of the palette, placing that right on that inner corner. Now that my eyeshadow is done, it's really pretty and neutral, everyday wearable kind of makeup today. But I'm going to add this NYX Matte Black Liquid Liner to add some winged liner to this look. Now that my wings are done, I'm going to use my Tarte Maneater eyeliner, and I'm going to line my waterline with this. For my lashes today, I'm using my Ardell Wispies, and I'm just going to apply those. My mascara today, I'm using my Tarte Big Ego Mascara, and I'm just going to apply this to my top and bottom lashes. But finally, I'm going to go into the shade Radiance, again, the highlighter shade, and apply that to finish off the look. Well, at least before I do my lips. So before I add my actual lip color, I'm going to use my NYX Matte Lip Liner, and this is in the shade Lavender and Lace, and I'm just going to line my lips. So the last thing I'm going to do is add this IT Cosmetics Vitality Lip Flush Stain. This is a 4-in-1 hydrating lipstick, balm, gloss, and stain. And this is in the shade Damsel. And I'm just going to apply this. That's like such a long name. This is what the color looks like. It's a nude shade. Will go perfect with this eye look. Not a matte lipstick. Definitely is like it says. It's more of like a balm, glossier finish. Sometimes it's like kind of nice to just use like a regular traditional lipstick instead of like always a matte liquid lip all the time. I don't know, it's kind of liking it right now. So this is the finished look. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you were looking for a new everyday wear palette, definitely check this out. Like I said, I'll link it down below for you guys. They're just like absolutely perfect neutral shades in this palette that you can wear every single day, not have to think about it too much. Also, I think this palette would also make a really great palette if you are just starting out with makeup, because you have a little bit of everything in here. Sometimes it's better to start out with a brow powder rather than a pencil or a pomade, because sometimes it's just easier to work with when you're first starting to do your own brows and things like that. And neutral colors, so you can't mess up with them. So great beginner palette as well. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell button when you subscribe. It's right next to it to turn on your post notifications so you're notified when I upload every single new video. I upload a new video every week, so be sure to go check out last week's video. You guys can also find me on Instagram and Snapchat at Victoria Costanz and on Twitter at Vic Costanz. So make sure you go follow me on there, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.